Hey everybody, Mark Galloway here. Today we are making taco pizza. Here's what you need to do. It's completely optional if you want to make homemade pizza dough, but if you get pizza dough from the supermarket, first leave it out on room temperature, let it poof. Next, you're going to get your pan. Next, to help knead the dough, or knit the dough, you're going to need some flour. Get your dough out and start kneading it, patting it all together. It'll take a few minutes, but after kneading some more flour and using a roller, it'll take a few minutes, but make sure it's in the best round shape as possible. Now, if your crust is very thin in places, since this dough is made for more likely a 14-inch pizza, bake it on low heat for a couple minutes until it's a little bit crispy. This way, the dough won't be soggy in areas. After this is all done, get your ingredients for the taco pizza. But first, after the dough is done, put it to the side and put all your ingredients for the taco pizza together. Now that the pizza dough is partially cooked, let's bring it out and put it to the side for a little bit as it cools down. Now let's put it together. Refried beans, guacamole, or you can make homemade guacamole using the typical ingredients. Avocado, beets, onions, you name it. Though I did mess up the recipe, but either way, you can still make it homemade or get it pre-made. Sour cream, ground beef, cheddar cheese, shredded, onion. That's all the ingredients you're gonna need putting the pizza together and putting it in the oven. Now you're probably asking, what about the other ingredients that you're forgetting? The other two after that is gonna be after the pizza is baked. Now it's time to just put our taco meat together. Now as we wait for the pan to heat up to put our meat in, what we're going to do in the meantime is get the skin off of this onion. And what we're going to do is that we're going to take like half of it or just cut it in pieces and just put the diced onions. They're going to go on top of the meat raw. We're not going to pre-cook them or anything. Oh, be aware, the most obvious, you're going to tear up. Now that the onion is all peeled, it's time to do the chore and cut it into bits. So cut it like this, and then once it's all thin in areas, when you do this and this and this, we're gonna dice it into small pieces. Now we're not gonna do so many, we're just gonna do enough to the point where it just covers the majority of the pizza. So slice it into little cubes like so. Now that the pan is at a certain temperature, it's time to put the meat on. So this is about 1.2 pounds of meat, or 1 pound and 2 ounces. But either way, it's just about the right amount that you need for the taco seasoning. So let's put it in the pan. Once it's in the pan, first of all, we're gonna do the obvious and chop it all up. And then once it's at a certain chop point, well, whatever you want to say it, we're then going to add the taco seasoning. But first, just make sure it's all chopped up in areas. And then we're going to, mix it around. Be careful mixing it if it's in a smaller pan than you think, because it's just going to cause a mess and cause all the meat to fly everywhere. But now, what we're going to do right now is that you're going to keep chopping and mixing it all around, making sure that most of the meat is cooked and not raw. Now you can still add the taco seasoning. Now correct me if I'm wrong, you can still add it if it's raw, but preferably from what I learned is that you just gotta cook it all the way thorough, make sure it's all chopped up before you add in the seasoning. Now that we see around that 90% of the meat is all cooked, it's time to add our taco seasoning. Make sure there's a good amount on it. Then we mix it around. Smells delicious. Now you want to make sure that the meat is all coated as possible. You can really smell the taco seasoning in the meat. Okay, once you have enough in there, you make sure that it has a good smell to it. So you're going to mix it around for a little bit. Turn the stove off, and then you're gonna put it to the side and then let it cool for a little while, maybe a few minutes. And I just dropped a piece of ground beef. Now we're gonna take our refried beans. We're gonna put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes. We're gonna let that heat up. Almost forgot. At certain points in time, take it out in between the time that it's in the microwave so you can mix it around and such to make sure that it doesn't get burned in areas. Now that all of our ingredients are just about ready, it's time to apply to them. The first thing we're gonna add is our refried beans. Now that's exactly what you need. It looks a lot like a mud pie, right? Now, next thing you're gonna add is your guacamole. Oh, I messed up there. It should look something like this. And now, the next type of sauce, sour cream. Now keep in mind, it's optional. If you wanna add rice to it, that's completely fine. But this already has many ingredients as I have planned as it is, so we're just gonna leave it at that. It should look a lot like this. And now it's time for the main portion. Time to add our meat. Okay, there's a little less meat than I was anticipating, but it's just about enough, so it'll do the job. And now it's time for the final ingredient, onions. Okay, and I might need to do a little bit more as I kind of anticipated. Actually, I stand corrected. It's just about perfect. And now the final portion for this part, the cheddar cheese. Bam! And there is your taco pizza. Now, granted, it's not completed. There's 2 more ingredients to add, but first, we bake it. Houston, we're about to come in for a landing. Back to headquarters. And now we wait. But on the other hand, let's clean the kitchen. Now actually, while we wait for the pizza to cook, we're gonna start taking our final 2 ingredients and chop them up. First, we're gonna do some lettuce. Now that our lettuce is chopped up, we're now gonna do our final ingredient, which is the tomato. So, cut the bottom off. And then we're going to do piece by piece. And then we're going to cut them up into cubes. Now the lettuce and the tomatoes are ready. Now we're just gonna wait for the pizza to finish up, give it a few more minutes to bake, and then we're gonna finally finish it off. The pizza is just about done, so it's gonna take a while for it to cool down, but while we're there at this moment, it's been out of the oven for about 6-7 minutes, I guess. So what we're gonna do at this moment, we're now gonna apply the final ingredients, which is 1, the lettuce. And then we're gonna add the tomatoes. Try to go all over as you possibly can. Last but not least, we're now gonna add our final layer of cheddar cheese. Bam! And there you have it. Taco pizza, all completed. To all the restaurants who make pizza, make taco pizza, that's the recipe. Take notes. Now, we're just gonna wait for the pizza to cool for a little bit. We're gonna give it about another 10-15 minutes to cool, and then we'll give it a taste test. All right, guys, this is the moment of truth. We now have our homemade taco pizza, mostly homemade. So we're now gonna give this a try. It's cooled down. Look at this piece. We're gonna try this one if I can pick it up. There we go. It's messy. Okay, yeah, and it's a little soggy from the bottom. So I would recommend baking it a little bit longer, but I think it could get soggy down there regardless. But anyways, guys, here we are, taco pizza. No more waiting. Moment of truth. Bon appetit. Oh. Oh my God. Bro. Mmm. The refried beans, meat, sour cream, guacamole, tomato. I don't even need to try another slice. That's fire. Apart from the crust, it's no big deal. The crust can get soggy, but apart from that, that's so delicious. Taste-wise, 10 out of 10. The crust, as long as it stays together, it doesn't fall apart, that's the thing that matters. If you're able to get it baking, and then if you're able to get it crispy and still pull this off, that's good too. But as a whole, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. But the taste-wise, it's a perfect 10 out of 10. It's amazing. Taco pizza. You gotta try this. I highly recommend it. Give it a try. You're not gonna be disappointed. As long as you do it right, as long as you do the crust right, everything, you got yourself a pleasant dinner. And again, to all the pizza parlors out there, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all over, if you're gonna make a taco pizza, this is how you make it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and that was taco pizza.